What's up, everyone? It's Joel from the Fun Pimps. Here I am showing you an exclusive update to Alpha 15. And the first look here is distant terrain. So we've got it in the game and working pretty good. Here's a little tower I made. This is a new piece. This is a little corner wedge railing. So let's go check out my little tower I built to get a better look at this distant terrain. And it runs really good. And I can't get up because this pallet is blocking me. Great. Alright, let's cheat and get up here. I need to fix that. So, anyhow, you can see, let me set the time back a little bit. Alright, so from here you can see, this is Dyersville. This is Dyersville. There behind the trees. And there's the hardware store and the bridge. Beyond that, okay, so those are the snowy mountains, and I'm pretty sure that those are the plains over there. And then this is the burnt forest where I'm focusing my mouse, and that is the desert. So you can pretty much see all of Navezgane, or every biome that's in Navezgane from this location, which is pretty amazing. That's got to be a good mile away or more. And yeah, I'm really excited about this. And we don't have trees or anything rendering beyond the chunks yet, or any POIs. That's something we're trying to figure out, the best way to do that with minimal performance impact. But yeah, it's pretty nice. I'll continue the tour here in a minute. So here we are in the desert. It looks pretty amazing. Looking at all these hills, we had no idea, kind of what the map looked like at a distance. It just seemed kind of small for some reason. I don't know, because we're always boxed in, but now that you can see for miles, it's like everything looks amazing. We redid the fog. We put in some code to kind of thin the grass out, because it was kind of like a wall of grass where it shut off. So basically, the further it is away from you, we kind of like thinned it out to kind of make these look natural. We improved the mip mapping some more. Yeah, it's looking really good. I'm really happy, and I just want to explore. It's like, wow, this is so cool. I just want to I see something and I want to go check it out. So, exploration is just so much more rewarding now, because you can just cruise around the roads and you can see all that we have. The roads, we put that in this week too, so roads are now drawn in the distance, and rivers. We're still working on the water, getting it. It works, but there's we need to do one more thing and it'll be perfect. Okay. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Here is a snowstorm in the snowy biome during the day. I think the Cavelli did some more work on the sun, how it clips through the fog and how it cuts through the clouds. Looks pretty cool. I guess when it's snowing, the fog is kind of limiting the view distance a little bit where the clouds are. Let me try to set that back a bit. Hey, chicken. Anyway, it's so much more immersive than it was. Oh yeah, the roads. I got to show you guys the new roads. So I was like running around looking for asphalt roads to show you, and I'm like, you know what, this is too cool. You guys might as well just be part of the ride. So I'm gonna run around until I find an asphalt road. Let you guys enjoy the scenery because it's amazing. Yeah, this has got to lead to a road. Come on. You guys that play Navigating all the time are probably like, what a noob. He doesn't even know where the asphalt roads are. I don't play Navigating that much. So, I mean, I know roughly where everything's at, but, you know, finding an asphalt road. There's a light pole. That's got to lead to one. So I worked on the... Now that we have better MIP maps... No, it doesn't lead to one. What the hell? There we go. This has got to lead to one. Basically, I have added cracks back to the road. I got rid of the temporary crack texture we had and added just a ton of cracks to the actual texture. So it's kind of beat up, but there's no more, by getting rid of that other texture, our terrain shader is limited to only rendering 3 textures. And you throw a 4th one in the mix, if you've got 4 different terrain textures together, it's basically you'll get a hard line and it looks like crap. So we've been improving that and reducing the cases where there's 3 different blocks, more than 3 blocks together. And I think they look pretty good. I got rid of the grass growing out of the roads. I don't know, it just didn't look quite right without an actual broken dirt spot for the grass to come out. We can't do that yet, so for now I pulled that out. But yeah, it's looking pretty nice. A little beat up. But at a distance, you know, it just turns to gray because our new MIP maps are way better. So pretty happy about that. So we added a new stun effect when you get hit. Your ears kind of ring, then it comes back to normal hearing. Adds a little immersion to the stun effect. We might add that to, you know, bombs going off and louder noises and other things down the road. We're still working on it. The sounds aren't final. It needs to fade out a little slower, but it's pretty cool for a first draft, but it is work in progress. We've also made some changes to spike traps. You can stack them now against your fort. Make a wall of spikes if you want. A tower of spikes. So this should make some pretty crazy looking bases. I'm sure people are going to be into this. Now, the downside is spikes are not super OP anymore. And we're going to be, you know, evolving traps for a while. As we add new code to do what we, you know, as the programmers put in new features that allow us designers to, you know, make it different and better, you know, we're going to be changing stuff and tuning it in. So anyway, let's get a guy here. We wanted the, I don't like, what I didn't like about the traps was, you know, a player could just basically build spikes, sit back and laugh at the zombies and not really be engaged. So we kind of changed them so that now the spikes, they slow you down when you walk into them. And the spikes take damage as you move through it, and so does the player. And so do zombies. So all it does is slow them down. It doesn't actually stop them. And we wanted to kind of get the player, you know, a little more engaged. So while they're stuck in the spikes, you should come up and kind of finish them off, rather than just sit back and let the spikes do all the work. So let me get a zombie in here. And he's walking around the spikes, of course. Alright, dummy. Surround myself with spikes, so he has no choice but to go through them. Alright, that ought to work. So he's taking some damage, but you know it's not gonna completely destroy him. Let me try another one. I imagine if I built it too high, I would have slowed him down better. You know, I don't know. We're still working on it, but this is kind of the direction we're going. We want the zombies to not be completely destroyed by spikes, but you know, you can slow them down, and it gives you a chance to shoot them. Great. Another thing we added was lightning. When it's raining, there's a chance that, you know, when it thunders and lightnings, you'll see, you won't see an actual lightning bolt, but the sky lights up. So when you're inside your house at night and it's raining, you see kind of light coming through the windows. It's really cool. I'm just going to stand here and watch. There we go. Freaking awesome. That's what it looks like in the house. These windows in the dark. Blow a candle out. There we go. Sweet. So that's that. I think it's pretty amazing. So let's see what Christian's been up to this week. Working on POIs. Am I gone? Funeral home. I imagine that sign might get changed. Or am I gone? Am I gone? Anyway, he likes to make goofy signs. And then I say, hey dude, we gotta change that. So it looks like he's got cross. I might need some light. Alright, got some caskets. Loot for the taking. And we've got a bathroom. And looks like a little churchy kind of area here. I thought it was a funeral home. I guess it's half church. What is going on out there? Oh, cool. I guess the glass has some kind of different specular highlighting going on there. That looks interesting. Never saw that before. And okay, so yeah, pretty cool. A little funeral home. Ah, here's the part I helped with. I helped build these little morgue drawers, mortician's drawers. Nice. That's funny. That stain almost looks like there was a guy laying there. Like there's the head and the arms and the torso. You can loot these and get some stuff. Oh, nice. It's got a got the crematory or whatever you call it, cremation center here. This is pretty cool stuff. Cool. So we did an update to Trader Joel's. I offer you a full no money back guarantee. I love that sign. Look at that. That is awesome. Rocking the epic beard. I trimmed my beard this week. Way too short. Kind of sad. But it'll grow back. It's kind of getting dried up from swimming in the pool. All the chlorine was drying my beard out. So I'm like, let's trim it a little, and then a little went too far. Anyway, shit happens and it'll grow back. All right, so we've got the trader location going on. Come in here. Oh, look at this. Sweet. I didn't know. I don't know what he's doing there. Oh, it looks like a mini bike idle. Anyway, yeah, you're going to come in here and do business. We talked a little bit about, Rick kind of redid my trailer a bit from the way I'd done it. But yeah, I think he's planning on, rather than this being where the guy lives, he actually kind of lives in this house. So there's stuff in there and whatnot. But I gotta fix these stairs. The collision's messed up. Anyway, so kind of the plan is, I read on the forums, you guys are like, hey, what are we gonna do? How do you, if you know this is walled in, or zombies gonna attack it, whatever. Here's what's happening. For the first version, this is all subject to change, but Trader Joel will be invincible. You won't be able to kill him, and if you attack him, he's probably going to shoot back. And at dark, when the sun comes down, he's going to give you a warning and say, hey, you need to get out, store's closing, you know, a few minutes before they actually shut down for business. And then, you know, you get 1 or 2 warnings probably, and then he's going to say, all right, time for you to go, and basically we're gonna turn on a teleport volume that will lock the gates and basically teleport you somewhere outside the settlement. So, and the settlement will be invulnerable. You won't be able to break it. You won't be able to grief it. At least in the first version, that's the only way we can get this out on time. There's a million edge cases to solve if we, you know, allow you to kill the trader or the trader or whatever, you know. So basically, that's it. These blocks are going to be protected by a land claim that belongs to the guy, and they're not going to be able to hurt them at all. They'll be 100% invulnerable. And then you're going to get teleported out at nighttime. And if you want to trade the next day, you come back and trade. So that's what we're planning on doing. Sign's looking good. So this last feature is super new, super unpolished, and unfinished, to say the least. But and I don't know if this is going to make it into 15 or not, but we've got it working. We need to clean up the interface. We need a new icon for it. This is a lockpick, and you go up to a door and you'll have a nice handheld item in your hand, not a sack, of course. And you right click on the door and you're going to get this lockpicking mini game. So basically you have to wait till the arrow hits the green mark, and we need to tune how difficult it is. And there'll be multi-tumbler locks. This is just a single tumbler lock, so you got to get through that layer, and then you'll get through another layer, and then you'll get through another layer for the harder locks. So you just have to wait for the little needle to line up with the green spot, and I believe you press key, and it works. So you can get into safes now without busting into them. If you have a lockpick, and I'm sure there's going to be a lock picking skill yet, so on and so forth. But that just shows you, the basics of it, what we're messing around with. I mean, guys, let me know if you guys like it or not. And that's pretty much wrapping up this week's show. I'm going to move on to Q&A, and hope you guys like this episode. Make sure to like it, subscribe, share, let the world know that 7 Days to Die is quickly becoming the best survival apocalypse game ever made. We've got distant terrain now, which, to me, these graphics, yeah, we're not like beating Fallout yet, but hey, for a dynamic world and you can destroy everything, I don't see anything to complain about. I mean, Minecraft is, and I don't know. I'm sure there's a bunch of other games that have destroyable worlds. I don't know all of them, but hey, we're doing what Minecraft did, only in my book 1,000 times better in terms of draw distance, in terms of graphics. So this is pretty cool. I'm really, really, really loving the distant terrain. To me, this has been a feature I've wanted longer than anything. I mean, ever since we got the smooth terrain and got rid of the old block terrain, I've wanted distant terrain, and we finally have it. Oh, and let me see what my frame rate is. Look at that. I'm still getting pegged at over 60 FPS, so it runs great, smooth as butter, miles of draw distance, fully destroyable world, fully buildable world. What's not to like? That's it, guys. Talk to you later. Back to part 2. Questions and answers. Curmudgeon. Does 7 Days to Die currently use any frustum or occlusion culling algorithms for increased performance? No, it does not. Well, I mean, it doesn't render things behind the player, but we don't do any occlusion of chunks. We've started on a chunk occluder, but we ran out of time to get it finished. So there's definitely a lot of performance to be gained once we do get some occlusion working. So we're pretty excited about the possibilities of it. It's just a matter of when to put it in and how to integrate it. Now that we've got distant terrain in, maybe soon would be a good time to get that in there and get it working good. B. Wheatley, return of light-driven zombies. Are you ever going to return to the old days of light-driven zombies? I believe. Wow, didn't we answer this already? I'm pretty sure. I don't know. We're not sure about that. I mean, the player settings are saying, hey, zombies run, they walk. Should that override it? I don't know. We might. I'm not ruling it out. I think it's kind of cool. I like the dynamic. I like being scared in the dark. So I think it is pretty cool. It's just a matter of getting it integrated with options to disable it, I guess, for those who just absolutely do not want running zombies ever. Salthacil. This is a bit of a suggestion, but instead of bringing electrical in altogether, just make it where we can make generators from small motors as well, more powerful. The motor, the more you can power with it. That seems reasonable. Brew. What official texture pack support would it be possible? Official? You mean modded texture support? I'm sure it's possible. It's just a matter of when we get to support mods. I mean, we have the official texture pack into the game, so I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but I hope I answered your question. Pavi Chochi. I don't know how to pronounce your name, dude. You're the Tom and Jerry cat guy. That's how I know you. Will you be rebalancing the skills in A15 since pistols, rifles, shotguns, archery currently require hundreds, if not thousands, of kills to level up a decent point, while melee can be leveled by hitting breaking blocks. Yeah, we're working on the balancing. Will modders be able to create contraptions such as a sorting machine or a lawnmower soon? I have no idea what modders can do. They're limited by their own talent and what's available to them through modding, I guess. We're not planning official mod support until the game is gold, which won't be till next year sometime. So until then, it's up to their own creativity to crank that out. Munchermans. Any idea if and when it might get some attention to fix the transition between terrain blocks and crafted blocks so that it looks like the left side of the screen and not the right? I don't know. I'll see if we can fix that. I have no idea when though. You all die real good wants to know. Are there any plans to implement booby traps in POI similar to Fallout 4, where a shotgun or pipe bomb might go off when you smash through a door? Huh. It's funny you mention that. There is a new trap in 15, and I'm not telling you what it is, because it's a surprise that goes boom. All right. Brandikova wants to know, is there any way we could get working shutters for windows? Maybe wood, iron, and steel? Absolutely. I am planning on doing that, or have Ryan Rayner work on that. So, you know, just a matter of when. Been wanting to, but I've been busier than I thought it would be lately. So getting back to making shapes is hard. I did do the wedge last week. I forgot to show it in the video. I showed it today. And this coming week, I want to get the steel version done with the round tubular railing, so I have to make that yet. And then after that's done, I'm open for some new block shapes as time permits. Poran wants to know, making modding easier. Will you ever add something like, for example, Counter-Strike, where when you join a server, it will automatically download a required mod? Yeah, I don't know. You know, we're probably, maybe, I don't know. I can't say for sure. I mean, we're not really doing mods right now, so I mean, we support them I mean, we allow them, but you know, we're not officially supporting them yet. So when the game's done, I am really a big modder. I've always been a modder. I got my start modding, and I love mods for games, so I will be pushing for a very mod-friendly and anything is possible kind of modding infrastructure. Lucifer wants to know, UMA zombies. So are you planning to make the other types of zombies as UMA besides Steve, like old fat Hawaiian guy? Yeah. Well, we have a screamer. We're gonna keep the zombies that we redid, the new ones, and then we're just adding more as we see fit. So there's going to be lots more zombies before the game's finished. This guy wants to know, do you plan to add an upgraded version of bottled water, like a canteen that can be filled with water and has more uses than a stack of bottled water? We're not into just adding more stuff that you can already do, so probably not. I mean, that seems like a perfect thing for a mod. Here's a canteen mod, give somebody something to do. But I mean, we already have water, we have several types of drinks. I think that's enough. We want to focus on new stuff. We're tired of revisiting old stuff. We want to add you know, some better buffs to drugs and chemicals and foods, but as far as adding a canteen to replace the bottle, I don't know. We'll see. But it seems like a good opportunity for a modder to make something cool. Rhino Thunder, railroad. Is there a chance we're going to be able to make a railroad that has makeshift locomotives and carts, like a furnace cart, storage cart, etc.? I was working on, or I'm going to work on some railroad track, and hopefully our elevator and electric system will allow for basic moving carts. I don't know if we're getting to advanced stuff like that, but we'll see. We'll see how far it goes, you know. first step is getting the track done, and second step is getting electricity done and getting these moving parts moving along the track. And after that, sky's the limit kind of thing. And maybe that's something, a good opportunity for a mod too there. Soviet Doom, are we going to see XML files that allow us to mod and create items that can spawn deer or pigs, like how the mini bike is placed with a specific code that spawns the mini bike entity, like how the new drawbridge is also an entity that the player is caused to be spawned? I have no idea what you're talking about. We can already spawn pigs from a menu, we can spawn mini bikes from a menu. Drawbridge is an item, it's not an entity. I don't know where that confusion came from. It's a block entity, which is different than a zombie entity, so I should probably be clear about that when I say it's an entity. It's a block entity, which means it can be animated, and it has a little more hooks and properties. You could kind of do anything with it that Unity would allow as far as attaching a script and all that. So they're a little more powerful, but they're a little more expensive than a straight up block model. But they're nothing at all like a zombie entity. They don't have AI or, but as far as I know anyway. Currently you support 8 players in multiplayer. Where do you want to get to, and where do you think you can get to go on full release? We're hoping 16 to 24 players. We're talking about maybe a special PvP mode that allows more players than you would if you're playing with zombies all the time. I mean, there'd be some zombies, like maybe sleepers and POIs protecting loot, but there wouldn't be, 7 to 8 hordes for these big PvP games, because you're not really worried about the zombies so much when you're playing totally a PvP game. So that would be kind of a special mode. I mean, you can still play PvP with zombies on, but we're talking about making this special mode for PvP, and there's not going to be a lot of zombies, so that it runs good for PvP, basically. Creator. I know with UMA Zombies, you'll be adding a bunch of whole new zombie types. Still, it seems limiting. Every Steve looks like every other zombie Steve. It would be possible for the game to randomly vary each instance. To some degree, but every time you create a new texture, it creates a new, or you put a new shirt on a guy, it makes a unique texture, because that's the way UMA works. It builds a texture from all the assets that you choose. So if I put denim pants on him, it adds denim pants to his texture, and the texture grows and gets bigger, or it replaces his leg section with those pants, basically. And anyway, long story short, it adds texture memory, so you can kind of do it, but you have to be careful not to go too far. I don't know. There's going to be enough variety. I think you don't need to worry about that. There'll be enough different zombies in the game when it's done that you're not going to be too concerned about seeing the same one too often. Are you the artist that does the texturing and such, and also the modeling, and do you and the others work in a pimp office, or does everyone work from home? I am one of the artists. I'm not really the lead artist. I would kind of more like a I'm kind of like an art director, but Joey's our lead artist. Does all the characters, and we have, it's kind of and do we work, some of the pimps work from home, and we have a small office where some of us work together. So that's kind of how that works, but we're spread out. We're pretty much a virtual team, but we do have a kind of core group of guys in Dallas, and we all meet and stuff. So it's all good. It's working for us. So with Skype and today's modern tools, a virtual office is pretty feasible, at least if everybody's disciplined and stuff. And we have a pretty good team, so we can do that. And we have great leadership. Me and Rick know exactly the game we're making and where we're going with it, so there's not a lot of debates about features and whatnot. So I think that helps us, having strong designs and strong leadership. A Flying Brick wants to know, when will we see more better animal models? To be honest, I've seen those pigs and models everywhere. Well, yeah, you're right. They are Unity assets. We reskin them, so you've never seen them textured anywhere like that except in 7 days, at least I hope. And I don't, honestly, they're good enough. I don't think they need to be redone. We have a new wolf coming, a brand new bear coming. So I guess the bear is getting replaced. I never liked the bear. And who knows, maybe we'll redo the pig and stag. We run out of stuff to do, make them better. But the wolf is done. It's getting integrated, rigged, so I'll be showing the wolf pretty soon. Maybe we'll get him in the game for Alpha 15, I don't know. Toriala, hey Mad Mole. Will any kind of animal breeding like chicken for feathers, rabbits for hide, pig for meat make it into the game? Maybe. I gotta move along quickly. Crazy Lady, how you doing, Crazy Lady? Any more news about your hope for horses that we could train and use as transportation in the game? No news. We're still getting the first UMA animal in the game. When that first UMA animal is successful, that's going to pave the way for this. Saddlebags with 8 to 12 slots would be pretty neat as well. Sweet as well. Yes, it would. We're going to have saddlebags for the wolf that you can tame and he can carry stuff for you. Maybe even tameable bears. We'll see how it works out and how it plays. I'd like to get better animal rotations in. They look kind of janky the way they just spin on a pivot point. So we need to get animals turning and all that. So that would make horses a lot more feasible too. So we just kind of need to lay some more track and then we'll see about the horses. I'd love to see it happen though. Jurier? I don't know your name. Hello, Mad Mole. Love the game and her progress since I played back in A6. Quick question, on Feral Night, will the zombie eyes change to red, orange, red, or eventually red eventually? Maybe. At least the UMA zombies, that can be done on pretty easily. So we'll see. Little Nightmare, is there any plan to add corner and right angle options for some blocks so that we don't end up crying when we see this? I don't even know what I'm looking at here, so maybe if you can explain it a little bit better, I can see what you're trying to do and we can figure out if we can do it. Russ wants to know, could you guys make a hitbox when you go near the spike if it's next to a door so that you don't hurt yourself? I thought we fixed that, so we'll see. Actually, we did do something to it. I don't know if we're going to change the hitbox, but what we did do is I think the buff is a little more forgiving, so it doesn't kick in immediately. So if you bump into it, you're not bleeding right away. So you can kind of brush against it without getting hurt, but if you are on it for more than a half a second or so, you're probably going to start taking damage and get slowed down, like I showed in today's video. Humphrey, hey sir, Mad Mole, can you make the barbed wire more visible and change it to disable zombie attacks when stepping on it, or give it a percentage chance to tangle zombies so they're stunned for a duration and make it upgradable for more durability? More traps, more fun. Yeah, as I said earlier in today's video, we're kind of revisiting traps, and I showed you guys the spike overhaul. We need to revisit barbed wire for sure too. Drogash, will we ever see a pack of zombie bears attack your base? That's already in the game. If you live long enough, you'll see it. Hey Mad Mole, can we have palm trees for the desert? Maybe. Hi Mad Mole, is it possible that we can get visible gloves, clothes in first person? No, it's not possible. Maybe the next game, where we get like a UMA handset, and then we can do it. Gamada, you mentioned pets will be added. Is there a chance that they will get infected and we'll have to put them down old Yeller style? but still harvest for hides and such, of course. Oh my God, you're not going to harvest your poor dog's hide. No way, man. No freaking way. No, actually, yeah. I mean, you can if you want. We probably put it in there, of course. I mean, all corpses have stuff you can harvest. That would suck, though. I'd like to put in kind of like a, a burying mechanic so that you can like dig a hole and like bury them. Otherwise, the stink draws zombies in. Or you can cook them and eat them. I don't know. Anyway, that's all kind of like pie in the sky. We'll figure it out. Occur when the game goes gold, will there be tiers? Oh, most likely. And will you share those tiers at some point, some sort of convention gathering with your loyal fans? I don't know. That's not for. I mean, we'd have to talk about it. I can't say what we're gonna do yet. Chajeez, will there be cans of soda and energy drinks as lootable consumables? Maybe. Sneaky Gup. Are you related to Guppy Cur, Sneaky Gup? Is this Guppy Cur's second account so he can get multiple questions snuck in? That's my prediction. He just joined too. That's his way of getting all of his questions answered. Is that a conspiracy theory? I don't know. Anyway, random Gen Mixer. Are you all at least aware? Are you all at least aware and can acknowledge that the random World Gen Mixer does not operate as intended? Yes, sir, I do acknowledge that it doesn't. Sorry, I couldn't. I lived in the South for a while and I couldn't pull off a halfway decent Southern hillbilly accent. Maybe I sound like a hillbilly without trying, I don't know. You mentioned it in your video as an answer, but it doesn't actually work right, so it's not a good solution yet. Here's what's going on. Random Gen is getting totally reworked, and it's a new kind of a data. We were going to image based, but he figured out a way to basically, I don't know, Robert would have to explain this, so I'm not even going to try to explain what he tried to explain to me. But in short, you can load your random gen world, you can tweak the XML, and you can reload the XML with the game running, and boom, regenerate the terrain and see it in, not in the game, but in his little preview, or maybe in the game down the road we'll be able to do that too, but I don't know how that would work with generating chunks. But it's going to allow us to get everything fixed and ensure that there's no bugs, and hopefully we can either get it merged into the game or release that preview tool so you guys can build the perfect random generated world and see it and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be pretty cool. And I hope I didn't offend anybody by doing it. When I read you all, I just had to do the Southern imitation. So hope I don't offend anybody. Syfy, hey Mad Mole, love the vids and look forward to new ones each week. So do I. I'm having fun doing this. Question: I know the drawbridge is a lockable door, but will we be able to rotate the drawbridges so that we can repurpose them as giant gates or as giant doors that open in a different direction? I don't know about that. I don't think so, because it's a multi-block model and the multi-block dimensions do not move along those, I think that's static. So I don't know. We're putting more big doors in, so you're not going to need it. We're going to have some giant doors that you can do the same thing with. So huge fort doors are coming. Twan Fox, while ultra realism doesn't seem to be the desire of the fun pimps, is there any thought to adding realistic traits like a gasoline requirement similar to mini bikes for anything that uses a small engine? Chainsaws and augers already use gasoline as ammo, but the cement mixer does not. And in 14.7, the harvesting changes make gasoline too common. Cement mixer. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can add a fuel type to that. It might have been just kind of a GUI limitation. It probably ought to take gasoline. We can look into that for sure. D. Lorenzo, divided upgrade blocks as previously. Any chance that upgrade pathways for blocks can be revisited and possibly divided into geological groups so that wood might be able to be upgraded to scrap metal reinforced wood blocks, but that would be the end of that path. I don't know. We kind of like, I like it how it is. You can go talk to Gaz about that, but it's pretty much, it's a convenience factor. If you don't want to do that, you can, you know, always upgrade. You can mod your own XML to block that upgrade path, or you know, you could build steel in the first place or concrete in the first place. I don't really see what benefit this would add, other than if you're just into the whole realism aspect that you can upgrade a concrete wall to, or a steel plated wood wall to concrete. Technically you could drill a hole in the top and you could pump concrete in, just like that foam insulation that they spray into walls. So you could do it in reality. You could put, and then you could put steel plating over that. So it's actually within the bounds of realism in my mind. So I see no reason why to put it back to the old way. And I'm sure you'll be able to mod it out and do that. You can already mod it out and do that if that's what you want. Kingslayer, any plans on adding something that will help you find and hunt other players, like some sort of radar that needs to be assembled? It's very rare as range increases with quality. Sounds like the bounty system we're putting together. We want to have a bounty board where players that have committed wrong to somebody, they can get a bounty on their head, and anybody who kills them will get a reward. And we're talking about ways to track them. Maybe the wolf that you contain can actually track other players. You know, if you shoot them and they leave a blood drop, maybe you can tell him to examine that and sniff it, and then you could go hunt that guy down and find out where he's at. Something like that. You know, maybe you can craft a traffic tracking device and sneak up behind the guy and then stuff it into his bag. And he might not notice it. It might just look like a jar of water or something, you know. It'd be kind of cool. Then you can find out where his base is, track the guy down, kill him, and get the bounty, that sort of thing. Sothasil, when you bring electricity in, are you going to have us craft generators like you have us make the mini bikes and concrete mixer? Yeah, you're going to have to craft a generator. Grognard, weapon XP. Why do all clubs, bow, and crossbow get higher hit? I have no idea. We need to balance it. Will you overhaul the gun sounds at some point? They sound kind of odd and then realistic. I think they sound as good as any other game's guns. I mean, we don't have attenuation, but this is just a matter of apples and oranges if you like it or don't like it. I mean, I'm sure there's 1,000 people that like it or think it's just fine to, you know, the one or two guys that think they suck, but I don't think we're going to change them. I mean, if anything particular, this is kind of a blanket statement. I mean, you think they all suck or what? I mean, if there's one or two that you think sound kind of weird, I know there's some bugs with some guns, but you know, the overall sound samples I think are pretty decent. But if you want to give us some specific feedback, we would be happy to look at it. MDF 25, how are the spikes being nerfed? I kind of showed you that in the video today. And we'll show the bigger spikes later or reveal that later. I'm not actually sure what Gaz did to the big ones. I just now checked out the little ones. But I know they've been kind of nerfed a bit, but you can stack them, and so I know they're better in some ways. But we want to get the player out there and involved with them, and not just have an easy kill without any effort. So everybody's running around building walls of spikes and laughing their way to the bank doing it. That's not right. We've got to make things a challenge. You know, we're going to have better traps than the spikes at some point, and those are the ones that should wreck a zombie, but not spikes. Spikes wouldn't kill a zombie. They'd walk into it, they'd get impaled, and they'd get stuck on it, and they'd break it eventually, or they'd get unstabbed and kind of like walk out of it, most likely. Like in The Walking Dead, they weren't dead. They had to go in and they got stuck on them, and then they had to shoot them in the head or stab them in the brain while they were stuck on the spike. And that's kind of how I think it should work. Except in our game, we can't do that. We can't have them stuck forever because there isn't an infinite number of zombies possible like in a movie. So we did the best we could, and they get stuck on there, and I think it's pretty good now. They get stuck for a little while, and they eventually break free. Xhound ZX. Hi, Mad Mole. Are there any plans for city biome with skyscrapers and other city buildings? We already have towns. No plans for cities because you know what cities are? They're like 10,000 chunks to do a skyscraper, and if you want the game to get 4 frames a second, put skyscrapers in and watch it happen. You guys can mod them in and get 4 frames a second, but we're not putting them in because they're a performance hit, a big performance hit. Maybe in the future, when we get occlusion, we can try it. But you know, our initial tests with multi-story buildings has already proved to be pretty disastrous with those apartments. Imagine what a skyscraper full of offices would do. It'd just kill the game. So we can't really do it. Maybe once we get occlusion, something like that would be more doable. Or if it was half racked and you couldn't, and it wasn't inside full of chairs and stuff. But until we get occlusion where the insides of a building aren't rendered, you know, then we can't do it. T-Bubs. Game server companies are blaming poor server performance on the 7 Days to Die game's poor CPU optimization. How about no? How about we're doing the impossible with a fully destroyable world that you can see, you know, for miles of distance now? I mean, yeah, it takes a lot of CPU to run the game. I agree it's not optimized to the best, but we're doing some really hard stuff with this game. So, you know, if they don't want to run our servers, they don't have to, you know. So I don't know what to tell you there. There's going to be optimizations coming for sure, but you know, when you're pushing a fully destroyable world, all those chunks, all that data over the network, it's just a lot of stuff. There is some optimizations to do, and I hope it gets better. Great decision holding the bandits back. I hate it when developers rush a new broken system into the game. So do I, because everybody just bitches. So we're pulling it out, and that's what we got to do for now. We're still working on them, and they're going in when they're ready. But if they're not ready on the day Alpha 15 is ready to go, they are optional content, and they're getting cut and delayed until they are ready. So that's how we're going to do it. Thank you, Alan. AJ Lamb 05. Mad Mole, I love the videos, always crave for more. It's just like an addiction. Awesome. Thank you for watching. You've been answering questions all day long and have a little break with this thanks. I just want to say thank you for making the game. I always wanted to have a true survival game and great developers that really care about their community. Well, thank you. A developer that doesn't give up and make a shiny penny even shinier. Also, thank you for listening about me asking and wanting the half mattress back in the game. I can be a pain in the behind, but coming from everyone in the thread, the 7 Days to Die community, we thank you for being one of the best developers and bringing a game you promised to deliver and making it better than ever. Love, your fellow friend. Wow, you guys just want to hear me cry, and I'm about ready to. This is awesome. I love you guys too. Really do. I love the community. I love this game. I love my job. You know, it's just, people are like, hey, Joel, let's go do this. I'm like, oh, but I'm having so much fun working. You know, it's like, I'm trying to like become a better artist. So I've been trying to draw every night, and I didn't get much time to draw this week. I was just too amped up, you know, doing art for the game and working on the game. So I didn't get my 2D speed painting time in, so I'm trying to like become an awesome artist. And you know, it's like so much work to do on the game that, you know, I don't always get to draw, but you know, I love doing it. So hey, All right, moving on. Let me take a little break. Love the new drawbridge, but is there going to be a drawbridge that instead of opening in the middle opens to the inside, leaving? Yes, of course. There already is one. I showed you the single one in one of my old videos, and then the other one I showed the double drawbridge because it was new. But yeah, we have both. Anaconda. Hey Joel, I'm new to this game, PS4. Welcome to the community. And I'd like to know more technical info about the game's early development. What type of voxel system and algorithms are used? Are there sources of the info's game development other than your blog? You can dig through the threads on the forum. That's about it. I'm planning on doing a video in the future, so where I'm going to go back. I have these old screenshots, and basically I'm going to like do a slideshow and just talk about look at this guy, we put him in the game, this is our first zombie, our first texture, in the game. It's crazy. I have screenshots from January of 2013 when we started, all the way to where we are now, and the transformation this game has undergone is just astounding. So that's another story though. Let's move on. But watch for that video, yeah, and that'll answer a lot of your questions about how we develop the game. Why are you planning on implementing a pre-processed world generation that could take even hours to create a map while Minecraft creates beautiful maps almost instantly? What's the difference? I'm not 100% sure that we are going pre-processed yet. It's a topic. We might be able to avoid that. But I would argue that Minecraft creates beautiful maps. They don't have roads. They don't have significant numbers of POIs. They don't have terrain density. They just have blocks. So, I mean, yeah, they're doing about one-fifth compared to what we do. Ours is a lot more complicated and advanced. So you can't really compare the two at all. TSBX, how expensive are the new block shapes to implement in regards to computer resources? They are super cheap, and more are coming. Mad Mole, are we going to see more variety of POIs in random gen for A15 for biomes such as the burnt forest and wasteland, as we're currently only getting a few of the vanilla POIs that are allowed to spawn in some areas? Makes you see the same one over and over. You are absolutely right. I will put in a note. I already said that a couple weeks ago. I'm going to reinforce that. Say, hey, that little L-cornered building. Let's make some more variants because it's like too repetitive. Ghostface. Telltale and the Fun Pimps, could you please have a talk with Telltale and get them to start telling us console players what they are planning for this great game you guys are making here? We've been talking to them, and I think they're starting to come around, and I know there are updates coming. I will say that. I can't say what is coming, but it's sounding like they're definitely wanting some more stuff. So I think there's some good news coming on that front, but this is not official word. This is rumors and discussions. So those guys will announce what is coming and when. So I think they know that, you guys want, this new content, and they're going to get it. So, I mean, they're getting the concept that you guys want this. So I'm sure that they're going to announce something soon, but I can't really speak for them because that's their news and their stuff. So, but let's keep on going with Alpha 15 PC. Hiking Nut. Hey Mad Mole, can we have the 5th block show ammo and gun crafting UI if loaded? when we are working with guns, or in the description, I just don't understand your question. I'm sorry. DAUW wants to know, are there any plans to add more options for decorating your base, such as paint or wallpapers? We've talked about that in the past. I'd like to see it, but I don't know. That might be the next game. You know, we've got a lot of we've had a million great ideas, but getting every idea in is impossible. So, you know, I don't know though. We'll wait and see. I'd like to see it at some point. Fail helm, mini bike map marker. Will mini bikes get a map marker so I cannot lose it? Not that I've lost it before. Maybe. It's not a bad idea. Let's see. Time for this week. It's glad to have you. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share, and next week, most likely, we're going to have a first look at our UMA wolf. These are the reference images that we use to make the wolf. So, all right, we'll see you later.